Hey guys, it's Paradise, and today we're teaching you everything you need to know about Venom, who is an absolute powerhouse and team diving machine in Marvel Rivals. We'll be going over both the basics of his kit as well as all the little details that you'll want to know in order to be your best when playing him. If you do like these kind of guides and you want to see more of them for other characters, then leave a like below and tell us who we should do next. But let's not waste any time and jump into it. Venom is a brutal and highly mobile vanguard that focuses on bullying the enemy team and disrupting their backline. Because of this dive focus, literally none of his abilities protect his other teammates, but in return he gets a ton of awesome tools that center perfectly around harassing his enemies and surviving himself. Another great thing about Venom's kit is how well designed it is. Each of his skills flows into the next quite naturally, making him both simple to learn and great to master, and a fantastic pick for anyone who's wanting to try out a Vanguard. His normal attack is Dark Predation, which is a rapid 4-hitting tentacle combo that has a surprising amount of range to it, being able to reach as far as around 15 meters away. This is currently the only Vanguard normal attack that can actually headshot, giving Venom great burst potential compared to the other tanks. This pairs nicely with his cellular corrosion, a short-range AoE that wraps anyone nearby in your tentacles, slowing them down and then exploding if they don't get away and are still in range once the ability ends. His passive Alien Biology allows Venom to traverse the map with complete ease, allowing him to access both wall climbing and wall running. This also allows you to access certain routes that slower, more grounded characters will have trouble getting to, which is perfect for Venom's flanking heavy playstyle. Your main source of mobility, however, will be in your Venom Swing. This can be attached to nearby terrain in order to quickly swing through the environment, and it's amazing for both engaging fights and escaping. His Frenzied Arrival, though, will allow you to take this to the next level. You can dash forwards quickly from the air to a target location on the ground, dealing damage and knocking enemies upwards. And then we have Venom's Symbiotic Resilience ability that is a cornerstone to his extreme survivability. This grants you a bonus health shield that will scale based on your HP when you use it, the lower giving you more. His ultimate Feast of the Abyss allows you to dive underground and then move freely before unleashing a massive AoE bite attack as if you are in the movie Jaws. This not only deals more damage the healthier your targets are, but it also gives Venom temporary bonus health equal to the damage you deal. So now that you have an idea of the basics of what it takes to become Venom, now let's go over the best way to string all of this together. With these various tips and tricks, you should be able to get the most out of him. As mentioned before, the power of Venom's kit is with how easy it is to flow his abilities one into another. For the most part, your bread and butter combo will be to use your swing to gain some height, before diving onto a group of enemies and then ensnaring them with your cellular corrosion. This slowing effect will make it easier for you to land your tendrils on the enemy's head, getting that headshot bonus. This will also cause the enemy players to scatter in an attempt to get away from you and break the chain. This then gives you the perfect opportunity to hunt down the high-value targets on the enemy team, like their healers and squishy damage dealers. With that being said though, this sometimes isn't the best thing to do. One of the weaknesses of Venom is that he has fairly lengthy cooldowns of around 8 seconds or higher on his abilities. This means if you dive too deep and the enemy team decides to focus you down with their cooldowns, it can be quite difficult to survive even with the help of your HP shield. Jumping from high ground or being high enough on a wall and using your wall climb ability will allow Venom to use his dive. This means you can save your swing to instead escape fights, so that gives you another way to engage. This means it's quite important to look for opportunities to do this, because although swinging into a fight is handy, it can put yourself at risk, so saving it can allow you to escape. It's good to know when killing squishier characters that you want to weave in melee attacks if you're up close and personal in order to deal more damage. By pressing down the melee attack button just after the third hit of your 4-hit tentacle combo, this will let you do a melee hit, adding a bit more damage to your rotation. This is enough to let you kill 250 HP heroes in just 2 rotations of your normal attack instead of 3, making bursting them down much faster. Now, while Venom does have amazing mobility and is very survivable, it's important to keep in mind where your healers are at all times. While your kit is good at keeping yourself alive for a short time, your cooldowns will mean that if the enemy team stays on you, you're going to be in trouble. It's particularly important to consider line of sight in this case, as if your healers can't see you, they cannot heal you. A good enemy team will blow everything they have in order to take you down when you're vulnerable, so make sure you are aware of where your healers are. Another thing to consider with Venom is that he is a pretty selfish tank when you consider everything. So on top of the fact that he usually spends a lot of time away from his team, you have to be careful of the enemy team pushing your own weaker frontline. If you're off chasing a highly mobile DPS while this happens, your team could be at a major disadvantage without you. So it's always a good idea to stay focused on causing as much chaos as possible for the enemy, instead of chasing kills across the map while your team suffers. If you take a closer look at Venom's health shield though, you really can't overstate how important it is to use it at the exact right time. It gives you a massive HP shield that's big enough to bring your total HP to 900. This is basically a whole other health bar on top of your own when you're low HP. So there's a few things to keep in mind with this ability, and one is that the shield will rapidly decay after just a short time. This means if you're using it at low health, it should buy you enough time to get yourself back to a health pack or to your healers, but it's important not to leave this until the very last second. This is because good players will CC you or attempt to burst you down once you get low. So we recommend using this skill when you're around 200 to 250 HP for the best results. To touch on Venom's ultimate though, we want to stress that this is best used against high HP targets. It's capable of taking around 70% of enemies' HP off, including on vanguards, as well as giving you a massive HP shield when you deal damage like that. On the flip side, it will struggle to finish enemies off. It deals much less damage the lower HP enemies are. So this ultimate is more of an engage ultimate. So consider using this at the start of fights instead of saving it for the end. On top of this, there is a setting that is super important to change for Venom, and that is his easy swing mode. By default, when you use his swing, it will just automatically tether you to a nearby object. This is intended and it makes swinging much easier, but it can really mess up your swings when you need that finer control of where you're going. Going into Venom's personal settings and toggling the easy swing off will instead let you shoot your web wherever you're aiming, meaning you can choose exactly where the tether point is. On top of this, it will give you access to web zipping, which is something impossible to do otherwise. This lets you simply pull yourself towards a wall or across the ground, and this is a super useful tool in tight or indoor spaces where swinging normally is very difficult, so this helps you keep your mobility very high anywhere in the game. Well, to finish up, let's quickly go over some characters that Venom works well with. Venom pairs very well with other dive characters in the game, so you can consider options like Thor or Captain America, or strong flankers like Spider-Man, Magic, or Black Panther to team up with. Venom makes it easier for these characters to do their job because you can jump in, take the enemy team's focus, and slow them down with your tether. This then allows the other dive characters to do their job and mop up those targets. Venom even has a team up with Spider-Man and Penny Parker that allows them to push enemies back while dealing damage, which is something that can particularly help out Spider-Man if he gets surrounded. So Venom and Spider-Man are actually a pretty good combo to try out with a friend. So there's everything you need to know to be a real menace with Venom and help carry your team to victory. Be sure to drop your top tips below for Venom so we can all learn together as a community, and make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Rivals coming very, very soon. Here at Arekkz Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 26.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.